everyone, Kristy here from Semi Girl, and I'd like to introduce you to one of our brand new stamp sets for June, Cookies and Milk. Cookies and Milk is a little set that I created because I wanted something that was kind of something I could use for friendship, but as well as a little bit of back to school, which I thought the little milk box here would be really cute for. So in the set we have our little cookie dude, which I think is really cute. He can be a chocolate chip cookie, or you can have rainbow chip, or whatever you'd like. And then we also have a little milk box that is really cute. And along in the set we have 3 sentiments: I'd crumble without you, as well as best friends, and we go together. And then also included in the set are a little heart, which I thought would be really cute for some of these friendship ones, as well as a mustache, because I thought a milk box with a mustache, like a milk mustache, would be, it's too much fun for me to pass up. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how to color this little cookie and make him look nice and crispy crunchy. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to color our little cookie here kind of in a crispy crunchy textury looking sort of way. So to color the cookie portion, I'm going to use E30, E31, and E33 from Copic markers, and I'm just going to start out with just a little base coat to the cookie. Normally we'd be looking for a nice smooth layer of color, but since we're going to be going and adding a lot of texture to this guy, we're not necessarily going to worry about that so much. We just want to get a nice base coat. Also, he's going to be kind of a chocolate chip or chocolate chunk kind of cookie, so I'm not going to worry about going around his little chocolate chips. You can also make him rainbow chip, or I don't know, maybe he's a macadamia nut cookie, so the chips would be a lighter color. Totally up to you what kind of cookie you'd like. Alright, next I'm going to grab E31, and I'm going to start adding a little bit of shading to the cookie. I'm going to give him a little kind of a poofy cookie look by going around the edge like this. Maybe he has little cheeks, so let's give him little cheeks. And then I'll give a little bit of shadow to the big chunks here. Like that. Then I'm going to grab E33, and I'm just going to kind of darken some of that up. So this is just kind of like a basic shading, not like we're worrying about a blend or anything like that. So darken up some of these bigger shadows. He's definitely like a chocolate chunk sort of guy. I'm not sure chips get that big. Okay. Next, let's just hop back over to our E31. Just going to give it a little blend, not a whole ton. I'm not looking for anything fancy or smooth here. And then with the very brush tip of my marker, I'm going to just kind of give a little bit of a squiggle. I'm going to stay out of the highlights as best as I can. And I'm going to use a little less over here on the lighter side of the cookie. And you can also do this with a few different textures. You could, instead of just kind of a squiggle, you could kind of go through and add some dots. That'd be really cute. Give them some freckles. As long as you're consistent in the texture you're adding, it can be a really good and believable texture for your cookie. So That's a couple different methods. And now I'm going to add a little more just to darken that up in the more shadowy areas with E33. Add some more dots in that too because we did that with 31. Get some over here. Then, just to kind of make the texture we add a little more blended in, I'm just going to go back over it with E30. Now, if you'd like, you can call your cookie good right here. I mean, he's pretty crunchy looking. Or you can wait till it dries and then we can add some more texture with our colorless blender. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we've given the cookie a little bit of time to dry. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use kind of a nappy textury washcloth and then a little bit of my colorless blender various ink refill to give him a little bit of texture. So I'm going to kind of just wrap the towel around the tip of my finger like this. That way I have, you know, good control over it and it's going to go where I want to. And then I'm going to just kind of dab some of this on the top. Kind of, you were trying to get mostly the bristles here at the end. Like that. And then, really lightly, because we don't want to smush it down, because then you're going to get a really light spot in just one spot. I'm going to just kind of dab in more of the lighter areas. Now, if you do this when it's wet, you're not going to get as pronounced of a texture. So if that's what you're going for, then you didn't have to wait as long. I'm looking for something a little more obvious and crisp, so I waited until he was a little drier. Okay, it's going to add a little more, because this dries pretty quickly. Now you don't want to do this after you've already colored like the chocolate chips in, because that's not going to help you. That's just going to give you this mottled look to the chocolate chips, which don't actually have this. Okay, I'm going to grab his little cheeks a little more. Okay, so now he's got kind of that crunchy texture look to him. Now, if you think you want a little more in specific areas, you can go back with your colorless blender and add them, or if you've got it in areas that you don't necessarily want to, then you can go back and add a little bit more in using your marker. I think I want to blend that just a little bit out. And it will kind of smooth that section out. You don't want to overdo this, because then you've kind of ruined all the texture you've already added. Next, we're going to go ahead and color in his chocolate chips. I'm going to use E25. I'm just going to go right over the areas. You want to make sure that you've waited until the colorless blender sections that you've added are dry, because if not, it's going to kind of mess up what you're doing here with your chocolate chips. It won't look smooth, it'll kind of look kind of mottled and speckly. Luckily it doesn't take very long. And if you didn't wait long enough, you can always go back over it once it has dried and kind of smooth it out. So hope is not completely lost. Alright, next I'm going to use E27 just to give a little dimension to these chips as we've done to the cookie, keeping our little light source in mind. And since he's a chunk, I'm going to kind of give it a rougher texture than I would if it was maybe a chip, which has smooth sides, while the chunks are kind of, well, chunky, obviously. Now sometimes milk chocolate can kind of get that shiny look to it. So if you want to, you can go and add in some highlights with a white pen, or you can use your colorless blender on this as well to push out some of the color. Now lastly, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to color his little mouth. I'm going to use R12. I think that's a good color. If you want something a little pinker, try like a R20. And then since we gave him little cheeks, I'm going to start in the middle and flick one way and then the other to kind of give him some little cheeks. Now he is all done. From this point you can go ahead, you can add a little more shading to your cookie if you'd like, if the colorless blender knocked out a little too much. Just make sure that you don't go back and use your towel method all over the cookie, because then you're going to ruin your chocolate chips or chocolate chunks. So I hope you enjoyed this crispy and crunchy video. And don't forget to check out the brand new stamp sets that are available at somegirl.com today, which includes Cookies and Milk, which is the set I just showed you, and Fruit Salad, which is a 4x6 set that we'll be featuring on our blog tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.